Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be our March reseller recap, so if that is something you want to watch, then please stick around. If you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Catherine. I am a reselling and beauty enthusiast, so those are the things that I love to talk about on this channel. If that is something that aligns with what you like to watch, then please consider subscribing. All of the makeup that I'm wearing, minus the lip, is going to be listed in my description box and can also be found in my April shop by stash. I always get a little mixed up because I always do my reseller recaps the month after, but my shop my stashes are the month of, so I always get mixed up. So everything I'm wearing, eyeshadow, base, everything will be listed down below. My lip is actually, I just put this on. I got it in my Sephora haul, so if you're interested in that, I'll link that up in the corner for you. But I am wearing the Lawless Forget the Filler Lip Plumping Line Smoothing Gloss in the shade Nudie. So this is a new shade for me. Really loving it. Of course, just a very simple nude shade. But anyways, let's get to the topic of today's video, which is March's everything reselling on March. March was a little bit of a dumpster fire. Let's just say that. Didn't reach my goal. So basically with reselling, I am a part-time reseller, so I do have a full-time job where I am a mental health therapist. As you can imagine, in this day and age is keeps me pretty busy. So I do reselling on the side, but I still, honestly, it's not even on the side. I probably work 30 to 40 hours a week on reselling. That might be a bit much. Maybe like 20 to 30 hours of reselling each week. So it is like a part-time job. And so these videos, I just like to come in, tell you what is it like to be a part-time reseller in today's world. I resell on lots of different platforms. My main platform is Poshmark. That's where I got started, and then all the other platforms kind of spiraled from there. It's eBay, Depop. Curtsy is actually a new one that I'm starting to see some progress on. Did I say Mercari? What else? I have them listed. Let's not even try to guess. Poshmark, eBay, Depop, Curtsy / Vestair. I don't really sell on Vestair anymore. Mercari, and then Facebook. I don't ever sell on Facebook. I list on Facebook, I just never sell anything on there. So I just like to tell you the highs, the lows, and basically everything in the middle to kind of get an understanding of what it's like to be a part-time reseller. I am just one person. There are many resellers out there who do much better than I do, and there's many resellers out there that don't do as well as I do. To each their own, and finding some sort of consistency with it. I think that is the biggest thing, is the consistency with everything. So let's just get into all of my total numbers. So my total sales for March was $870.36. My cost of goods, so everything, all the money that I paid for each, all of the items combined together, was $224.14. So that left my total profit minus cost of goods minus fees as $673.42. So that is quite shy of my goal of $1,100 of profit each month. So that was kind of my goal that I set for myself earlier this year, was based off of last year's total numbers, which I can link that video up in the corner for you too. It recaps my whole year of 2023. I wanted to up that goal for myself, so I opted to I wanted to reach $1,100 in profit each month. What do I do with that profit? I pay bills, like those unexpected bills that come up, putting a lot of it towards my husband's student loan payments. Mine luckily have all been paid off. That was through a grant that I got in the field that I work in, and basically the population of people that I work with. All of my student loans got paid off, so thank goodness for that. So now we are working towards his student loan repayments. So a lot of these profits go towards that to really reduce that huge number. So that's why I obviously want to make the most profit I possibly can, just to get that reduced. So $673. Yes, that's still a good chunk of money, but not as much as I wanted to see, which is why I called it a dumpster fire. But the total number of items I sold was 32 items, so just roughly about a little over 1 item per day, which is selling, which is great. I don't know why I said 32 items sold is great. It's really not that great. It's relative. Let's just say that it is relative. If I was a hobby reseller, that would be great. I obviously want more than that because you can tell what I do with my profit. And so it's 32 items is not great relative to me. My average listing price was $35.54. So basically when I list an item, this would be my average listing price. My average cost of goods was $6.79. So for every piece that I sold, it basically cost me just under $7 per item. And then my average profit per item was $20.41. It did take an average of 62 days to sell an item. So basically 2 months ago, if I were to list it, I'd be selling it today. It does help kind of with seasonality and realizing what things are selling, what things aren't selling, given, the season we're in. To me, it doesn't really make a difference. I list things all year round. But if it is something that, like, say for instance, we are going into the summer season, I'm gonna want to list more summer clothes now, like put priority towards that compared to like sweaters and things like that. So it just kind of gives you an idea. So then I like to kind of break down how many items I sold on each platform. So eBay I sold 2, Mercari I sold 2, Depop I sold 1, Curtsy I actually sold 3. I am surprised because Curtsy is starting to kind of be a little bit more regular for me, of having a few sales a month, so that's great. I do offer free shipping over on Curtsy. I don't offer free shipping anywhere but there, so I'm sure that has something to do with it. I haven't really played around. Well, when I wasn't offering free shipping, I didn't get really any sales. The nice thing about Curtsy is that you can actually import all of your listings that are Curtsy appropriate, so you can't sell men's clothing, I don't believe. They will take it from Posh and they will import it to Curtsy. So you don't have to really, if you sell on Posh, you don't have to do anything except check that button on Curtsy. So that's really great. And then it will automatically, if you offer free shipping, it will automatically increase your prices of everything to kind of cover that free shipping. So that is also great. So if you're not selling on Curtsy, consider it. I don't have any affiliation with them other than selling on them. I know sometimes they do, they were like sponsoring some people's posts. I've not been approached by them at all. I'm just giving you another platform to sell on. And then finally on Poshmark, I sold 24 items. So that makes up the 32 items that I sold. So I do like to always kind of talk about, like I said, the lows and the highs. So I always start with the lowest profiting items, and I will scoot a little bit over so you can see all the messiness that we will cover up by a picture. So let's see, my lowest profiting item was this pair of Torrid Distressed Classic Denim Light Wash High Rise Midi Shorts. I did sell them on Poshmark for $12. My cost of goods was $6.47, so that gave me a profit of $2.58. They did sell the first time listing them within 166 days, and I did receive an offer from the buyer on these shorts. So again, as you can see, some of these items are probably a little bit more geared towards spring and summer because that's just what people are looking for. Majority of people, I should say. The next item was this pair of Levi's 721 vintage high-rise skinny jeans. They did sell on Poshmark. My cost of goods was $9.22. They sold for $15, so I profited $2.78. They sold within 45 days of the first time listing it, and I did receive an offer from the buyer. And you may say, wow, that's a really low offer. Yeah, it is. It is really, actually a lot of my my lowest profiting are offers received from the buyers, and I was just in a mode of like, if I'm making money on it, I want to get rid of it. Some of these things might have been a bad buy on my side, on on my part, so I just was wanting to rotate through things and just get them out of this room and make a little bit of money off of it. The next item was this J. Crew mercantile knit lace-up dress, sold on Poshmark. My cost of goods was $4.49. It sold for $12, so I profited $4.56. It did sell within 177 days, and I had relisted it over 5 times. I get to a point, because I try to keep this tracking system in my my bookkeeping, that I have like kind of a color that denotes how many times I've relisted something, and once it gets to gray, that just means I've relisted it over 5 times. So it's been over 5 times, so I was very glad to see that go, and I did receive an offer from the buyer. So again, somebody sent me a $12 offer, and I said, heck yeah, I made money. It took me years, we'll just say years, to sell that. So glad to see it go. The next item in my lowest profits was this pair of Franco Sarto Riviera pink suede slide sandals. I want to say I might have gotten those. My initial thought is that I got them in a thread up box, like a shoe box, but I don't think I did, based off the cost of goods. Maybe I just picked them up at the thrift store. Regardless, they sold on Curtsy. My cost of goods was $3.99. They did sell for $22, but like I said earlier, I do offer free shipping on Curtsy, so my profit was $5.33 minus the shipping costs, the seller fees, all that kind of stuff. They did sell within 181 days of the first time listing them, and I did receive an offer from the buyer. Yeah. Sorry, I was like looking through them. I was like, did I receive all of my lowest profits were offers from the buyers? No, my last one wasn't. So my last lowest profiting item was this really cute kind of quirky sweatshirt. It was vintage American Netherland Dwarf Rabbit Club graphic sweatshirt. I saw it at the thrift store. It was one of those things that honestly I probably shouldn't have picked up, but I like to pick up like quirky things that just make me happy. Initially, I thought I was gonna wear it. It wasn't that oversized fit that I wanted. There was even a little stain on it that I tried to get out and wasn't coming out. I listed all of that. I try to be as honest as possible in my listing. If there are stains or flaws, if I can find them, I will try to list them. I will list them for you, so you know. But my cost of goods was $5. I did sell it on Poshmark. I sold it for $20, so I profited $8.98. It sold within 179 days of the first time listing it, and I sent that offer through Posher VA. So if you're unfamiliar with Posher VA, basically it is an extension you can purchase, like a subscription basically extension that helps with sharing your closet, your Poshmark closet, sending out offers automatically. I think they even do like listing and relisting, or delisting and relisting. I don't use that feature because I use Vendoo, which if you're ever interested in Vendoo or Posher VA, please use my referral code down at the bottom. I know for Posher VA, you get 20% off your first month. And I think I just looked this up because I started Posher VA when they did an annual subscription. And so I'm kind of in that like legacy group of annual subscriptions, but I don't think they offer that anymore. I think the only offer they have is $25 per month, and then you can get 20% off, I believe. Is it your first month or maybe the first 2 months? I'm not sure. I know it's 20% off. It is affiliated, so I get basically a discount off of mine as well. But you do get to try it for like 2 weeks free or something. So if you're ever interested, I have my referral code down below. Same with Vendoo. I know you get some sort of percentage off when you use them. They are a cross-listing service. So this is why I'm able to sell on so many different platforms, is because it's in one spot. I'm not having to go to multiple different platforms. It is just all in one spot. And I think they just added Whatnot to it. I'm not a Whatnot seller, so you know, it doesn't mean anything to me, but maybe I will become a Whatnot seller. I just realized on Whatnot that you don't have to do live selling. You can just like list it now, so maybe I will start selling on Whatnot. Who knows? Regardless, we zagged. So this particular item, I sold it through a Posture VA offer. So whenever somebody likes an item, I have it set to a minute after somebody has liked an item, it will send off a 20% offer with discounted shipping. And so that is how I made this sale. Very long story short. All right, so now we talked about the lows, so let's talk about the highs. So our highest, or I should say our lowest highest profit was this pair of Spanx ankle skinny jeans in clean black, and they were a tall version, or a tall length, I should say. They did sell on eBay. My cost of goods was $6. They sold for $50 plus shipping, which ended up being $64.50. I profited $40.80. I sold them within 1 day of listing, the first time listing it. So Spanx, still a great seller for me. Definitely the jean leggings tend to do the best. And to be fair, I haven't really found anything else. Mine is like, I'll find some bras here and there, but I don't really find anything outside of jeans or bras. So let me know how Spanx does for you if you've ever picked it up. Sometimes the places that I go to thrift will upcharge you on it. They realize that Spanx is a good brand, so they will they'll cost a little bit more, but you know, if they're the jeans, I'm more likely willing to pick them up even if they are costing a little bit more, just because I know that they sell pretty consistently. And then it sold through, I received an offer from the buyer and it was not promoted on eBay. So on eBay and Depop, I do promotions, boostings, whatever, on their respective platforms. So for eBay, I set it at 5%, and then Depop is automatically 8%. And I'm just kind of like experimenting this year to see, you know, what is it worth it to promote or to boost through Depop. So I'm just kind of making notations that this was not promoted, which makes me think that when things are not promoted, it makes me think that somebody was specifically looking for that item. Instead of just kind of doing like a For You page or just like browsing and stuff like that, they literally went into eBay, clicked, this is what I want, and then found it, is my understanding of it. I could totally be off base with that, but that is my understanding of it. So the next highest profiting item was this Harper Rose long sleeve crepe Georgette jumpsuit. Really pretty jumpsuit. Sold on Poshmark. My cost of goods was $5. It sold for $70. My profit was $51. It did sell within 2 days of the second time relisting it, and I received an offer from the buyer. So the main thing is make sure you are relisting your items, because sometimes you just need some fresh eyes on it. Even if it's, you know, it's been listed for a while, you need to kind of like appease the algorithm deities and relist and, you know, get fresh eyes on it. So always be relisting. The next item was this Ted Baker Demore bicolor flounce hem dress. It sold on Poshmark. My cost of goods was $8. It sold for $88, and my profit was $60.38. Sold within 201 days of the first time listing it. And again, it was an offer sent out by Posture VA at 20% with discounted shipping. Which I should say, discounted shipping has changed through Poshmark. At least when you're making bulk offers to likers, before you at least had to put some sort of shipping discount. I would always put the lowest, so basically it would just take an extra $2 out of my earnings. But now they have it where it's a no discount when you send out bulk offers. So I will have to check with Posture VA to see if that had any sort of change on single offers too. I'd be interested to see that. This is me thinking out loud and reminding myself when I'm editing. Okay, so the next item was this pair of Rag & Bone Miramar sweatpants. These probably showed up in one of my recent thrift hauls. I'll link my playlist somewhere up in the corner for you, and you can see all of these items that I thrift and kind of tell you more about them and preview them before I actually list them. These were a pair of jogger sweatpants that had like jeans printed onto them, like a jean printing screen print on them. I thought they were so kind of silly looking, to be honest, when I first saw them, but I saw that they were rag and bone when I looked at them, and I was like, oh, I'm sure they're worth something. But they were such a tiny size. They were extra small, which I kind of had these like very general rules of not picking up like super teeny tiny pieces, just because in my history it just takes a long time to sell them. I know there are people out there that you know, are that size, but you're talking about like very specific size, very specific brand, kind of very specific look. So it just makes that like pool of people tinier and tinier each time. But luckily these sold super quickly. So I sold them on Mercari. My cost of goods is $4.97. They sold for $80 on Mercari. So I profited $63.83. This was before Mercari switched over to not having any fees. So some fees were taken out. If you're not familiar, basically Mercari is now maybe the only platform that doesn't have seller fees. All of those fees are now placed on the buyer, with the caveat that the buyer can return the item for any reason. I think it still has some specifications, like you can't return it after so many days, or you have so many days to return it or make it open a case or something like that. So this was before that change had happened, but they did sell within 14 days of the first time listing it, and I did receive an offer from the buyer. I think I originally had them listed for like maybe $125, something like that, and they offered me $80, and I was like, heck yeah, here you go, all yours. $63 profit every day. I'd love that. All right, and so the very last item and the very highest profit that I had for March was this Lily Pulitzer Pomona maxi dress in this Borealis blue. This thing was like, somebody had just ripped the tags off of it, and that was it. Never washed it, never wore it. It just felt like crisp, you know, like it had never been touched before. This sold on Poshmark. My cost of goods was $6. It sold for $160. $160. So my profit was just shy of $120. It did sell within 2 days of the first time listing it. And again, it was an offer sent through Posher VA. So it was a 20% offer with a teeny tiny little shipping discount. All right, so we talked about single items. Now let's talk about bundles, because I always like to encourage bundles, specifically. Well, really the only place that I get bundles is Poshmark, just because they have a really good system set up for bundles. I know Mercari does bundles too, but I've never had a bundle in Mercari. And they just don't have as many tools to utilize to message people to encourage bundles. So Poshmark is the only place. So my lowest profiting bundle was a bundle of a Good American sleeveless faux leather bodysuit and this Fidelity Colette button-up pencil skirt in dark vintage. This skirt took forever to sell. Again, it was a super tiny size. I think it was a size 2400 or something like that. Super tiny. So, and I had relisted it so many times, so I was very glad to see it go. My cost of goods for both items was $12.49. It sold for $36 total, so I profited $16.31. And basically, this was just a promotion that I always have in my closet. When I'm not running my like quarterly sales of my clearance sales, I always have bundle sales. So everything that is priced $99 and below, if you bundle 2 items that are priced $99 and below each, you can get them for $36 total. So ideally you could get $198 worth of items for $36. So what I do to promote that is, if somebody were to like an item, I use the tools in Poshmark. So I take that liked item, I add it to the bundle, I add a listing that explains my sale, I add that to their bundle, and then I have an automatic text that basically says, hey, I added this to your bundle, please take a peek at it, that explains my sale listing or my sale. And you know, I get a lot of traction from that. So that's how I encourage bundles. And then my highest profiting bundle was this full of Athleta. It was Athleta pieces. So the first one being the Salutation Zuma Stash Pocket in a 7/8 tight length, another Ultimate Stash 2 textured 7/8 tight, and then the last one being an Ultimate Stash Pocket Capri. My cost of goods for all 3 items was $21.11. It did sell for $54. So for the bundle sale that I have, you have to at least bundle 2 items. So the lowest it could be is $36. The highest is what you can imagine, what your wallet can handle, basically. So this one was 3 items, 3 times 18 is 54. So I profited $22.09. So now we talked about the highs and lows. Let's talk about everything in between. So one thing none of us like to talk about, but those are returns and cases open, or, you know, there's a problem with the item. So I did have one, basically case opened / return. My short little story about it. They offered, what was it? I think it was like $30 on a pair of framed jeans that were originally listed for like $55. They offered $30. I accepted it. As I was packaging up the sale, I noticed, because I'm just in different lights in here, I noticed like a tiny, it was about like maybe a quarter size little discoloration staining on the front thigh, which I didn't notice before when I was taking photos of them. So I wanted to ensure that they were aware. So I took a picture of the stain. I pointed it out, say, hey, this is the stain. I apologize for the oversight. Please let me know if you would like to cancel this sale or if you'd like me to continue on with it. So she kind of went back and forth, and she's like, oh, is the stain right here? Yes, it's right here. And then it went a whole day without them saying anything. And so, I asked again, hey, are you wanting me to send this out? And their reply was kind of weird, where it's like, well, I'm still interested. I wouldn't have purchased them for this much if I would have known they were a stain. So I just took that as I'm still interested in it. Cool, send it out. And then, so they get the notification that it was sent, and they're like, well, what are you doing? I told you I was, like, I didn't want to pay this much for it. I'm still interested in the item, but I didn't want to pay this much for it. I was like, well, you said you were still interested, so I sent it out. And again, I'm just gonna be honest, I don't have time to go back and forth and, for people to not be direct or to take forever to decide what they want to do. I need to know now. And so when you tell me they're interested, I'm going to send it out. That's just my indication. And so, we had this whole conversation going back and forth, and basically I got called dishonest and that I was a bad business person. Why would I do this? I shouldn't have done this, blah, 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 blah. Whatever. They get the item. Immediately a case is open saying that there was undisclosed stains, and Poshmark gets involved. So my idea was, Poshmark has the ability to see all of our conversations, the pictures and everything, saying, hey, they were informed that there was a stain and they were given the opportunity to cancel. They didn't cancel. They were sent out, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Case got approved. They got returned back to me. I'm just going to stain treat them and resell them. So that was my one story of the cases. This happens in business. Yeah, did my feelings get a little bit hurt when I'm being called dishonest? Of course it did, because I wasn't dishonest. It was just something that happens. We all miss flaws and stuff like that. But I take it with a grain of salt. Like I said, I will stain treat them, and even if the stain doesn't come out, I'm still gonna disclose that now that I know and sell them anyways. So that's my story. I did not have any same day sales. That's always exciting when you list something and it sells the same day, but I did have 9 same week sales. So that's always cool. No full price sales, big bummer, but that's okay. I had 6 successful sales through Posher VA, sending out 20% discounts, so that is pretty cool. I did have so my 2 for $36 sale, I always like to see how many items I'm selling through that. So I sold 3 bundles, which included 7 items total. Pretty neat. I received 16 offers for items, and I sent out 8 offers. So that is pretty cool. That I guess what that says to me is that I'm picking up desirable pieces that people are like searching for, or how I'm listing them is coming across to more people, that they have interest in it and they want to send me an offer, opposed to kind of me enticing somebody with an offer. if that makes sense. I don't know if it does. And again, kind of looking at promoted and boosted listings versus not. I had one sale through a promoted listing on eBay and one not promoted. And then I only had 2 sales, I think, on Depop. Is that what I said? I don't even know what I said. Let's see. Let's look up here really quick. I only have 1 sale on Depop, and it was, now I gotta scroll back down. It was boosted. So again, that kind of eats into your profit a little bit, but you do get more eyes on your item. So I always like to leave myself a little bit of notes for myself and yourself, is that although I had lots of low offers, or a lot of offers received that were in the lower profits, but I also had some pretty decent offers too. So that's pretty cool. Again, like I said, it kind of shows me that I feel like I'm doing a little bit better about picking items up more and how I'm listing them, how I'm wording them so that they're being, they're searchable, things like that. So kudos to me. I said my Posture VA plug, I already explained that to you. It's 20% discount for yourself. You can try 2 weeks for free. It is $25 per month. But I paid for it within that one Lily Pulitzer sale. Like if I were to be paying the $25 per month, that would have paid for it for the month. So it's just something you have to decide for yourself. I really enjoy it. It takes a lot of energy that I don't want to spend. I'd rather pay than spend the energy. My next one is just make sure you're relisting things. So this month for April, I'm kind of starting this quarterly sale. So I did it back in January. If you're interested in seeing how I did it in January, I'll link that specific video up in the corner for you. So I did it in April again. It's basically a clearance sale, trying to get a bunch of items out. So I haven't been listing new items, but I have been relisting items. And so I'm noticing, obviously, it still keeps the algorithm happy, and I'm selling the stuff that I already have listed, which is really nice. And then another thing, be very careful. Do what you will with stock photos. I'll just leave it at that. Dolls Kill. I have an item from Dolls Kill that I used as stock photo, and immediately it was flagged through Poshmark. I used it across all of my platforms, but Poshmark was the first one to catch it. And so I immediately changed all of it to a picture that I took, which honestly was like just as good. But I wanted to show how it was worn. But anyways, so just be careful with Dolls Kill. Comment down below if there's any other brands that are that intense about checking. So I know Gymshark is one of them. Lululemon is one of them. The others are escaping me. But if you know those brands, list them down below so we can all be safe from that. And that is my March reseller recap. Again, not where I wanted to be. Dumpster fire might be a little bit of a strong term, but not for me because I didn't make my goal. And I really wanted to make my goal. This kind of looking towards April, because I am filming this on the later half of April. We're getting closer to the goal for sure. We're not quite there yet, but I think we might get there by the end of the month. So I'll be happy about that. But yeah, let me know if you are a reseller, how did your March go? I want to know all the things. If you're not a reseller, thank you for watching. Are you considering becoming a reseller? I would love to help you on your journey. Did we all hear that? Somehow my speaker decided to just disconnect and reconnect. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. The best gift you can give any YouTuber is just engaging with their content. Watching their video all the way through is a huge one. Subscribing, liking it, commenting, sharing, doing all the wonderful YouTube engagement things. And sorry, my speaker, somebody started talking through my speaker. I think my husband accidentally connected to my speaker instead, and I started hearing a conversation he was having on the phone. Awkward. Anyways, doing all the wonderful YouTube engagement things truly does help this channel. And with that, I will see you in my next one. Bye.